What does it mean to be human? What does it truly entail to live in harmony within oneself and with all life on earth? Heartfelt welcome and thank you for tuning into the One Voice podcast. I'm your host, Samuel, and with the support of the Alruna Foundation, I'm on a mission to share the voices of visionary artists across the earth with humanity. This podcast is my humble attempt at contributing to the fostering of an evolved human consciousness. It serves as a platform for integrating and weaving together wisdom from diverse cultures, religions, and traditions in the beauty of creative expression. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this 9th episode of the One Voice podcast. And I am sitting here together with Saga Solöga, who is a dear friend of mine, an artist, a practitioner of music and the voice, and a medicine woman on the path of the North. And I'm really excited to be having this conversation with you. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you. I'm so happy to sit here with you in this magical spot and meet you again for a long time ago. We saw each other.
Yeah, it's been a long time ago.
Mm.
And it's cool how relationships syncs in different times and in different, when it's meant to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's meant to happen and for us to record this podcast. And so we are sitting a bit in the outskirts of Stockholm, where you grew up in Järfälla.
Yeah.
Would you like to share a little bit about the spot and where you grew up, since this is where we are right now?
Yeah, it feels close to my heart in some ways, that because these forests are pretty free. I feel it's like a natural reserve here, nature reserve, and I love these forests, and I've been running here since I was a child a lot around in these ways, and I was training skiing just behind this little forest. There was a hill that we had our skiing trainings many times a week. So this area is also connected for me to nature and to walk the path of connecting with nature, and also invited me to the cold from an early age, even though it doesn't get super cold here, but it was a starting point with the snow and the love for snow. So here I grew up, and I moved when I was 18. So now it's been 10 years since I didn't live here. Yeah.
Okay. Where did you move when you were 18?
I've been living all over many different landscapes of Sweden. So first I went to the west coast, where my dad's family is from. My mom's family is from the north. So I stayed some time in the west coast, and then I went up north to teach skiing. And I've been living in Dalarna and in Lund for a year. A little bit in Malmö as well, and Piteå.
Oof.
And then Jokkmokk, and so I'd continue north there.
But the common theme is nature and being out on the countryside, it sounds like.
Yeah. At least I tried some places, but I ended up going more into the places that had a lot of nature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you would say nature is a big part of you and your life.
Yeah, it's very deep for me. And it's sometimes also like a sad thing, because I feel sometimes alone from the community. But I feel the community with the trees and with the waters, and I value that so high. And also these vibrations of the north in Sweden and the north of the world, like the landscapes in the Arctic is very close, vibrating with my spirit. So
there's something that's kind of pulling you.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you just wanted to be like not in the city, you wouldn't have to move. So for those who don't know, Piteå and Jokkmokk it's very, very far away from Stockholm.
Yeah.
It's at the Arctic Circle.
Yeah.
Which
So
is like
PTO is just at the circle, a
Yeah.
little bit 1 hour south, and
Yeah.
Jokkmokk is 1 hour north almost.
Yeah, but it's like 18-hour drive or something
It's
to get up there. So it's like
2,000. I don't know. Yeah.
it's almost the same. This from Stockholm, it's almost the same. Like in the bird's way, it's the same distance up to northern Sweden as it is to southern Italy.
Yeah, I know. That's kind of crazy. Yeah.
So it's a big country.
It's almost like a different country, I feel, up there.
Yeah.
And
So what do you feel up there?
I
Do you wanna share?
feel now I feel some kind of soft energy in that because I moved 8 hours south from Jokkmokk. So I live in Funäsdalen now, which also have that kind of energy because a lot of mountains and so on. But so I think coming down was also longing to be a little bit closer to community and family. But what drove me up there was some very mystical longing, I think. I don't know really how to explain it with words, but it sometimes touched me to tears. My grandma's heritage is from north of Jokkmokk. So maybe it was something from this, I don't know, but somehow it felt like a little bit of an initiation also to move up there. To go through these times of loneliness but also connecting to this deep longing to actually be there in the quiet vastness and like not so much of this interruption in the energy field too. Yeah, so and a little bit some way untouched land, but in other ways it's been a lot of mining and forest, cutting down forest to grow it more than I think people know. That there's big nature reserves, there are, but there's like some people talk about north of Sweden like a colony of South Sweden. Like we use a lot of nature's gifts from the north to produce for the people living more south. So like I think there's 3 big rivers left that it hasn't been interrupted by humans to make electricity, and in some ways that's good because it's green energy in that way, but it's kind of sad to drive through, go in these areas and see how less of the like some very important sites and what wilderness places are really dammed up, and stuff like that.
Yeah, it is. It is both. No, there's vast natural resources that's been we've been exploiting for quite some time, and like the forest there, it's tragedy how kind of you drive through there and there's like these what kind of graveyards of
Yeah.
But that's not where you've been living, though. You've been living more up in the mountains, which is more wild, I would say, and more like untamed. And it is such a vast area that there's still a lot of untouched land there. Exactly. And also, especially on the Norwegian side, it's like personally like this place of the world for me. I've been all around the world, but it's very special. It's very mystical, especially the winter time when the sun doesn't. It's dark for months. The sun, if you go above the Arctic Circle, the sun doesn't go above the horizon. So it's this mystical twilight and the aurora borealis, and it's like
there's a lot of.
It's like the dream, the dreamy time
to listen to it. So there's a lot to learn in the dark that is not so easy to explain, like with the words. And I think also after some time it gets. First, when I moved there, it was a little bit of a thing. But then after living there, I feel I forgot the difference.
Yeah.
Somehow, like it just kind of embodied in me. And now I feel like, oh, that's how it should be, right? No,
Yeah.
so nothing weird with it. So
Yeah.
so yeah.
It requires strength to live up in
Mm.
these places, and I think our ancestors had a lot of strength,
Yeah.
especially the Sami people and the people living in these
Mm.
very rugged, cold
Yeah.
conditions, and it does something to you. That's like the northern energy as well as like the parent or the adult energy,
Mm.
or like the guider and the protector
Yeah.
as well. And yeah, so your grandmother was part Sami,
She
or
was not Sami. She was like Torn Finnish, like Finnish. She's from Finland. She's still alive, and she is very sweet. And she lives not there now, but yeah, she's from north of the Tornio River.
Mm.
But from this, there's also this other, what to say, urfolk.
Yeah.
That is called Tornio
Mm.
Tornedalingar. Yeah.
Cool.
So she's from there. Yeah.
Cool.
And I also met my dear partner David in an ice bathing place. So we were ice bathing together, and then I saw that he had some real guts, like going into that water, and I felt this is a good man.
This is a man. What did he do? He stayed in for a long time.
Not super long, but he was. No, I don't know, but we had something there, and
Oof.
he has some Sami in him. So yeah, being there with his family also taught me a lot, and like it feels in many ways like another land country than down here.
Yeah, it is. It's another land, and I'm curious because you're a musician. You've been playing music for maybe your whole life, I can imagine. Especially with Emilia, a common friend of ours.
Yeah, my soul sister.
Your soul sister. Yeah, amazing musician as well. And you have a band named Klot, but you also make your own music, which is, I feel, is very influenced by this nature of the North and of you kind of interpreting that and expressing that in your music. And yeah, would you want to share a little bit on that?
So I realized when I go really deep inside my heart, asking what do I want to give to this world, or how do I want to live, and who I do I want to be, I feel this energy of devotion and prayer to life. And for me, music has been, I think, the first way to let that prayer out. And when I was younger, I wrote also a lot about emotions and stuff like that, like what I experienced in my life and what I went through. But now I think I wrote like one song a week or two songs a week when I was a teenager. So I wrote so much music, and when me and Emilia was kids, we used to play. Our play was over a lot of the times were that we made songs. We were like having fun and climbing a tree, and then we made a song about it. And we thought everybody played like that. So I asked my mom, like, "What's your songs from when you were a child?" And she was like, "I didn't make so much songs." And I was like, "What? Doesn't everybody do songs when they play?" And so it has been with me like a way of expressing myself. But these recent years, I think I was a little bit feeling into what do I really want to say? What do I want to influence the world with? And when I felt into that prayer, I felt that the nature has such a simple language and such a simple way of teaching balance and peace and the teaching of life. So I chose to ground myself in expressing like poetry from nature. That's a favorite way of me of writing the poetry in my songs. And to direct the energy of longing and prayer into words about nature, I feel is fun and sweet and like simple. And it's very pure in a way. Like, and also to remind each other that go out and connect and be a part of what we already are. So, yeah, I found nature to have a simple way of being that church for this prayer. And the prayers, my song and my melodies. Yeah.
So it's coming through the nature that you are in, would you say?
Sometimes maybe I listen and feel like these sounds are coming from the nature. And sometimes I want to sing a praise to the nature, like, you're so beautiful, or I'm so grateful. And as it was my friend or a lover or something, or God. And I feel I am singing to God most of the time. Maybe I have some songs that I also sing about some process inside of me that is maybe more of a tale. But mostly I create songs to praise and to remind and to of gratitude. But I see, nature has a beautiful poetry to clothe God into. Yeah.
I would like to explore your perception of God and what it means to you. Would you like to share a little bit on that?
Yeah.
It's very interesting.
Oh, it's
and important.
It's very strange also, but I can also say goddess, of course. What else? Beingness, the innermost aliveness and the recognition that we exist and the mystery that we don't know anything and the spark of life and the miracle that we actually can live, like we can experience.
Yeah.
I don't know so much about it or to say anything about it, but I just feel like I'm in love with God in a way, or goddess.
Yeah.
And I feel a soft way of living that love in life. I don't know if I'm talking clear, but
it seems like it is. This whole journey is about learning to love that, which is also who we are.
Yeah.
And as we speak about nature and God, we are
that
which we are speaking to.
Exactly.
As well.
Exactly. So in some way, devotion is like directed to something else. Like I am singing with devotion or praying to something like outside of me, but I know we are one, but it's sweet to kind of go that distance anyway.
Yeah, no, that's the play, no?
Uh-huh.
That's the play.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one becomes two.
Mm.
And before the one there was all.
Yeah. And also that's the thing with nature, that nature is alive. I am nature. So singing to it is actually singing to us and to the life force in all of us and to the creator and the beingness. So it's a nice path because it's mirroring oneself.
It is the ultimate mirror. It has no nature has no agendas. Nature has no like demands or what it's.
Yeah.
It's just
it's unfolding.
Yeah.
And yeah.
And so
in truth, it's very truthful.
It's very truthful. Yeah. And such an essential part in life to connect with, especially in these quite confusing and turbulent times with so much distractions, and people are having it pretty hard keeping it together and staying sane with the telephones and with media, with everything that's kind of happening. So would you say music, is that a way for you to stay sane and to stay kind of clear?
Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking a little bit about before coming to meet you about music. I was just philosophing with myself and I felt I remember one time I was in some kind of confusion and darkness and a friend told me to sing, and I guess I already knew that, but it was a good reminder. And by singing I felt like I could straighten myself, following my voice, feeling the vibration in me, and also breathing and so on. I felt like there was some kind of I got a clue how to walk through this darkness. So most often I take singing as a guide when I am in tough times, and I am not a mother yet, but I believe that when I give birth I will for sure try to sing in the, if it's possible, I don't know. But I see it as an anchor of something. Yeah.
Now we can hear the birds singing.
Yeah.
Like
An amazing place, and the
nature
mosquitoes.
is singing all the time.
Yeah.
And if we would look more esoterically on, like, I see music is life. Everything is music. Everything is, what is sound? Sound is frequency. And this whole world is made out of frequency, of atoms moving constantly. And there's this rhythm, like the rhythm of our heart means the rhythm of the cycles of the moon and the sun. And to me, it's like when I'm playing music, when I'm learning to play music, it's like I'm learning to attune to life and to kind of go with the ebbs and the flows, because life is always gonna take us on a unpredictable journey. So music it's a way to navigate that, no?
Yeah, and also singing together and playing together is, can make very mystical things happen. I feel like you can raise some energy, and
Before there was religion, there was music.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like music knows no borders. It knows no, like, we can. A very wise Jewish friend said this to me, that when we speak, only one person can speak at a time, but when we sing, when we play, we can harmonize together.
That's amazing. Yeah.
So there's no. It's like the oneness of the moment where we can attune to each other, and
it's very special. Like sometimes how we lose track of time and place, and just vibrating with the same frequency. It's very. It's, I think, one thing why I really love music is some experiences I had playing with others. Just this euphoria of like aligning with the vibration with others. It's so, oof, yeah. And one thing I think is quite interesting is if you would isolate a sound without, in just the one moment, then without time. I don't know if there is music if there wasn't time, because I think music is a remembering of the beat that was before, and the experience of the beat or the rhythm that is in the moment, and then an anticipation of the next beat in some way. I don't know, maybe there's music only in the now too, but it's fun how to see how it's connected with time. And how that is really deep in us. And
it's movement.
It's movement, and also that sometimes I see music as a telephone line between the mind and the spirit. That it comes from like earthy objects. It comes from skin drum, or it comes from something that I can very practically learn or play, but it takes us to a place far away, or not far away, but very deep places. So it's very interesting how it created so hands-on and so material, and it becomes so immaterial. And yeah, it's a very cool way of meditating and talking to spirits.
I think it is the ultimate way.
Yeah.
Because like painting is one thing and dancing is another thing, and well, dancing and music goes together.
It does, yeah.
Because dancing is also to do with rhythm and
Yeah.
I think rhythm is a very, very interesting phenomena, and so profoundly, like, if there was like a few principles of the creation of the universe, the rhythm is one of them. There's this constant like beat,
or the breath, or the
that's happening, like the beat of our heart and the breath, which is like in sync autonomously by this profound intelligence. And life is also like the rhythm is what's moving us forward, and when we fall out of beat, that's when we kind of fall, at least my experience, you kind of fall off on, like, and you're trying to find your way back on the beat, and sometimes it's difficult. And I think practicing rhythm with percussion is so amazing to learn to attune your like rhythm, and when you fall off, which you will do, you know how to like jump back in and manage energy in this way.
And if you think too much while you're trying to do the rhythm, you can mess it up. You know,
you will mess it up.
Yeah, if you're like, oh, how I'm gonna do this, then it doesn't work. But if we relax and kind of stay with attention, but still relaxed, we can do it much better. Yeah. And I also am inspired by folk music. I studied Swedish folk music for a year.
That's amazing. Where?
Yeah, in Härnösand. So also in the north.
Okay.
in a folkhögskola. But not for like every day for a year. But I went several meetings of a course there.
Yeah.
And it was very, very impactful and inspiring, and so beautiful tunes that is very old, and how it gets transmitted like and learned from master to student, and how it's something that I feel is so free, and not almost nothing is written down, or nowadays a lot of things are, but it get passed on by ear, and so I think it's very
Swedish
beautiful.
folk music. I did not know that. Okay.
It's I am very touched by many like tunes in this, and also rhythms. There's a lot of special rhythms, but the thing with this is that always when you learn something, they talk about how you would dance together with the music. So the dance and the music are one in like a strong way, that people wanted to dance and party, or dance to sorrowful things too.
Yeah.
But they always say, if you play like this, you must think about how the dancers will dance, because they want to have this schwung in their legs. Like they will have some, but they will have to move in a certain way because of your rhythm. So you gotta play so the dancers enjoy the dance. So it's also like a two-sided coin of that. Dance is also the music, and music is also the dance in some ways. How it evolved. And
dance is the music, and the music is the dance. So I'm studying Indian classical music, which is like the dance is completely integral.
Yeah.
With the music.
It's pretty strange nowadays. We listen to maybe very slow music. You can mostly relax, but if there's like a rhythm and people are just sitting down, it's quite strange. I feel like my body wants to move, but it's like the society is a little bit like, you should just be still.
You should just be still. Yeah, we become a bit afraid of
showing
moving
the moves. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's so cool because if we can attune to one beat, then we can start building beats on top of that.
Mm-hmm.
And we can, like, well, Indian classical music is based on that. So there's 16 beats and there's the cycle, and you keep repeating, like both the person playing the drum or the tabla and the sitar player is like in tune with the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But then they go out and they do these crazy things, and they do like 5, 7 beats and these really difficult things, but they meet at the one. Because they always know where they are in the cycle, so they can meet at one, and it's all improvised, and it's really, really impressive.
Oh. That is very like, very cool.
Yeah.
I listen sometimes to this kind of music, but I don't know so much about playing it myself.
Oh, it's really difficult.
Yeah.
Oh my god. It is really difficult. I thought like, well, if there is something that's worth dedicating a lifetime of studies to, one of the things is music.
Yeah.
To master in a lifetime. Like what else is? There's a few other things, but music is really like...
There was the time when I actually moved more north that I felt that was, I think, the darkest time of my life this far. And I was sad and I felt very alone. I left like my community for this. I felt I needed to be alone, and I wanted to go to the north, so I did. But then I was like, what should I give my time to when I feel this low? And then it was like music. Music is my savior. Music is always a place I can go to, and so it's for me to like to dedicate my time to. Music is always worth it.
Yeah.
Never a waste of
Good
time.
reminder for myself as well. Yeah. And so your artist name is Solöga. What does that mean?
It means sun eye, or eye of the sun.
Oof.
Yeah. And in Sami it's Biaivichalme. That was a Sami man saying to me. I thought it sounded very cool. I like it because it's a little bit reminding me to meditate, to kind of observe. And I think the sun is a god, and I don't describe myself almost like Solöga, but sometimes maybe I have like very strong love in my eyes, and then I am Solöga. But actually my name Saga, my birth name, means she who sees. So it's actually a good connection there too. The one who sees.
In what's the origin?
She's a prophetess in the Norse mythology. You know, like with Odin and Thor and these guys.
Her name is Saga, or is
it? So there's a Saga hanging out with Odin at this river called Sökvabäck, and they are looking into like the world, and she is the one that is announcing that the world is going under with Ragnarök.
Wow.
So Saga is this goddess, but she's not so much talked about in the Eddas.
But she's a prophet.
Yeah, she's a seer.
So she tells Odin that the world is gonna go under. Because of, do you know why?
Actually, I think there was some kind of fight between the gods and the giants, but I'm not so sure what it was about.
The gods and the giants. Yeah.
In the Asatru. Yeah, so I'm happy to have that name. I like that name.
It's a beautiful name. I could see myself naming a daughter Saga. Saga. It also means fairy tale.
Yeah, which is so nice. It's I've been quite nerdy with these things, but I know it means that it's from like myths and stuff like this, and also words. I've studied Sanskrit. Like I like these winding labyrinths into history.
Yeah, me too. I study Hebrew.
Oh yeah, I didn't, but it's
a lot of mystery in this old language.
Interest way. Yeah, And Saga means fairy tale because she is the one that saw something and she tells it. So she tells the story. And that's why it's like the teller. Because she see and also tell. So, yeah.
Because she sees and she also tells.
Yeah.
So that means she has to express her word. Because a lot of because that's also a theme of our times, is that this is really a time to express our words and to make our voices heard and to allow ourselves to
Yeah.
do that and share what we see. Because obviously in a very materialistic society that's kind of disconnected from the deeper mystery that the mystics and the witches were attuned to, we kind of discarded any information that seers were seeing as bullshit.
Yeah.
Uh,
And maybe some, the listening to the warnings and the wisdom of.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do we see coming for the audience?
Oh. No, not Ragnarok yet, I think.
Let's hope not.
I think.
But something new seems to be coming.
New?
Do you feel something is changing?
I think I am pretty careful with actually seeing. Actually, I'm a little bit careful and shy about this. I think it's hard to. I think I mostly see my own prayer and just focus on that. Like, try to go into the best I can, and that's my focus. So, but maybe you see something.
Yeah. Well, I think we are living in very profound times, and I feel like we're living kind of the end of a cycle of a line or a vector of thought of kind of consciousness, which has been defined by separation for a long time. And I think we are heading into, or we have been for a long time, in like this change, in unpredictability. And I think a lot of us can feel like something is moving, something is not what it was before, and we are kind of moving into this time that is unknown, and that's scary. But it's also in the unknown we can create something new. And I think some people are feeling a calling to kind of envision what that new might be.
Yeah, because in a lot of quarrel and movement, there is, in my own life and in others' life, there's usually the rebirth or something very good that is coming out of it. So, yeah.
And it usually in our own individual lives and journeys, and not when everything is normal and good or okay. No one wants to change. People are comfortable, so it's when we are uncomfortable that we know that we need to do something. We need to change something.
Yeah,
I'm very excited, but that's why it's also extra important to stay sane and develop tools and ways and create community that allows us to stay sane and healthy. And I think music is, for me, really important.
And also being in contact with the earth.
Yeah.
To walk barefoot, to take a cold bath, and as we talked about earlier, actually train the muscles has been a new thing for me.
Oof, tell me about your workout today.
Maybe it's not a new thing. I've done it as a young person a lot when I was a skier, but now I was a lot of singing and meditating for some years, but now I have been lifting weights.
Oof.
A little bit, not so much.
Bodybuilding?
With my no, no, but like kettlebells and doing these workouts, like what is called when you do the like I don't know the word, armhävningar and
Yeah, strength exercise.
yeah, strength exercises, and I think that's really good to get the fire going in the body, and a lot of times maybe in our circles, I don't know, but we are dancing and swimming or yoga, like this more watery exercises for what I see, but I also like this fire to really get out some of the steery restlessness inside and to feel strong, and I feel that has been an eye opener. This last year I've been training quite a lot, like almost I do something every day. It can be small or big, and I maybe do something bigger for 3 times a week. Yeah, and I love that, and it's hard in the beginning to get it going, but then you just get addicted and you want to do it all the time, and you wonder why not everyone is doing it all the time and is addicted to do it.
I love it. It's also a vital part to stay sane. Music and movement and training. And it's also interesting how it goes with the seasons. Like in the winter, for me, I love lifting weights, but now in the summer, it's not as much. Now it's more movement in the forests and being outside. Yeah, we spoke that maybe the spiritual hippie community could use some more of this, like, brute.
This fiery.
Strength.
Yeah, because maybe we need to also show our strength and get our message out there, and maybe it's good to exercise this fiery energy to feel strong and not just observing all the time. Maybe the not wisest people are observing most, but it's good to say something as well sometimes. Not just let everybody else say something.
Right. If we eat too much lentils and only do Kundalini yoga, we're gonna become vegetable.
Yeah. I actually eat quite a lot of meat now that I didn't do before for 10 years. And by living in the north, I have this reindeer meat that is so amazing and wild. So I don't eat from factories, but if I can get the wild ones or like that, I eat meat. So that's also been good, I think. But yeah, that's also a journey.
Yeah, it is. And, where do you see yourself heading now, with musically, and like what do you want to create in the next year, but maybe also in the longer term? Like, do you have any glimpse or perception?
I want to play music with more of my amazing friends like you. Because I realized that I love music the most when I play with others. So that's a shout out to all the friends to come and play music and create. And I have produced and recorded like my EP. I had friends helping me mix with mixing and mastering, but I've done some mixing and producing myself. And I would love to build a studio and invite friends that have amazing music but didn't have the chance to record it. To record it with a lot of heart and naturality.
Yeah.
Very natural.
I have quite a few friends that have their own studios, which is so cool. Do you recommend for people to do that, to actually record their music and to create something and put it, even if it's not like the most perfect, like Beethoven piece the first time, it's never gonna be, but just feeling like, whoa, I created something and I put it out there and people can listen to it. How does that feel like?
I think if you really put your heart, like if you really love the song, I think it can be very beautiful. Me myself is a little bit petty, would you say that, with my own work?
Yeah.
Like I put so much time, but that also makes me, I learn a lot, and also makes me like I can stand for it after even some time. So I think they're like both inviting this craftsmanship to really be proud of it and do the work. Like it can be nice to actually do a good sound quality and stuff like that. But I also think, of course, if you made something that really is from your heart, and so let the world hear it. So I did it also, like you always learn something new. So some years ago, maybe I thought I was awesome and I released music, and now I feel like, oh, I didn't know so much back then. And I evolved like my skills.
Yeah.
And but I'm really happy I did it back then, because it made an important step to the next step. So I really think more people should let their music out and not be too shy about that. But I see that, and then I see some playfulness with younger people, inspiring maybe younger people to connect with their bodies, their hormonal system, and the earth, and with their voices and their artistic expression, and with spirit. So in some way, having like a piece of land, inviting young people and have some
What's
kind
a
of
young person? What's that?
I like this age that maybe I didn't get so much support. Maybe between 8 to 18 or something like this.
Yeah.
When you
Grundskola. Like.
When you're looking a lot maybe for your purpose or your style,
Right.
and finding that, and yeah, inviting people, these humans, to go inside and see what is really true for them, and get connected to the bodies and get proud of what they can express and create.
I feel the same so much. Like these generations you're so receptive in that age for knowledge, and you're so curious and open. I think being able to put something conscious at that age is gonna plant a seed that
I think so too.
May grow very. Like today, I walked by this gymnasium, like 17, 18-year-old kids, and there was like a bunch of them on a bench. They were smoking like Marlboro cigarettes, and they had like these cans of Monster energy drink next to them, and they looked like they were hangover, and like all of them with headsets staring down at their phones, probably like watching TikTok or something. And I'm like, damn, how can we allow this as a society? Like, how can there be like where are the mentors? Where are the guides? Where are the people they're supposed to
they
like
look up to and to be inspired from?
Yeah, it feels a bit like we can abandon.
Yeah, we're a little bit lazy, maybe.
Yeah.
We just let them find their own ways, and then it's easy for the mind to just connect to that kind of stuff because it's easy and comfortable.
Everyone else is doing it.
Yeah. And so I think for everyone, and myself, and to really we all need to do the work of this life to take care of ourselves, and we need to take care of a house, we need to take care of our bodies and our spirits, and there's always this work. Sometimes I'm super tired in the morning, but after a while I stand up and I do some breathing exercise maybe, or I put on a smile and I say, woohoo, these days I'm gonna rock and roll, and even though I don't feel like it, because it's like lifting my own spirit up to actually face
when you haven't seen the sun for 2 months and you're like, it's like minus 20 outside, and you're
like, let's go. Yeah, and not maybe every day, but it's still like the young people, the old people, like everybody, we gotta do the work of life to create the paradise on earth, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not so easy, but it's rewarding.
Yeah. And I really do believe we choose to come here for a reason as well. It's not a coincidence that I chose this life in this body with this in this country in these circumstances, and it's like kind of owning that and taking responsibility of okay, finding out what is it that I came here to do, and that's a journey, like maybe a lifelong one to understand but it's a very beautiful one.
And I also want to add with this future question that to learn more about wild herbs and the plants in nature, and to be able to find what to eat in the nature. I am very passionate about that.
Can we eat something here?
Yeah, we can eat a lot. Like almost. I used to say we can eat everything almost, but then I read about a really poisonous plant. Yeah, it's a lingam flower, I think. But then I read about a poisonous plant that would kill you if less than one drop of the
But
humid
that's not
came
very
on you.
often.
No, but it's very common in the mountains. So I was like, I didn't know we had these dangerous plants in nature. Home. But
why do you want to learn about this? Why do you feel like it's important?
it's very nurturing. The wild plants had to fight for their way of existing, so they have a lot of nutritions, and it's for free. It's democracy. It's democracy.
Yeah.
Everybody can eat it, and you can have your own salad. You don't have to buy it from Spain.
Yeah.
And destroy
Empty
their earth.
vegetables from Spain.
Yeah, and you can find like 10 different species in your own lawn, or at least most of the
I would
lawns.
love to learn.
So that's powerful, I think, in a simple way. And I'm also about to have a dog. So that's also I feel my nurturing heart is growing, and I'm longing to be a mom in some way. And now it's for a dog.
Yeah, well, so a step in the. But you can feel you want to be a mama.
I had it so strong these last 2-3 years.
Oh wow!
But now I think I'm coming closer to it. I'm getting a little bit afraid of it. Because it's so. I think it's close. So then I'm more afraid of it. But it feels, yeah, for sure. It feels natural, and it feels like a calling inside of me. And but for now I feel good waiting and dreaming, and for this little Samoyed puppy to grow up with me. Yeah.
Nice.
And he is kind of the biggest one in the in the kennel. I don't know, biggest puppy. So he's gonna grow super big, like almost his paw. His dad's paw was as big as my hand.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and I hope he will run around in the mountains with me for the winter. And they're from Siberia. This breed.
Yeah.
And they are used to pull wagons for the nomad people, and also to warm the kids in the guati, in the kota, or in the tipi. So yeah, so they are both very family friendly and also wild and happy outdoor friends. So I think it will suit me.
So you feel like family life is the big next step? Kind of.
Oof, I don't know really the big next step, but it's a deep longing in me.
Yeah,
at least.
Same here. It feels like a very vital part of this human experience for most of us. And I'm 27 now. I had that in awareness already, like 1 or 2 years ago. I'm very happy about that. Like just keeping that in our awarenesses is gonna make us do certain decisions and plan our lives in certain ways. So all in divine timing.
Exactly. When they want to come.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a soul waiting to be incarnated. Isn't it just incredible? Like, how did
It's
it's
incredible.
not? It can't be random. How can, like, out of the billions of cells in my father's, like, sperm and in my mother's, like, how
Eggs and yeah.
in that specific point in time that I choose to incarnate in that time.
Yeah.
It's like mind blowing to realize. Just go back, like, whoa! I became this big body and I came out of nothing.
Uh-huh.
What's that
Yeah.
about? I'm 2 meters tall. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. We lend energy from everywhere, I guess, around us,
Yeah,
helping each other to grow.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Amazing. So, is there anything else you would like to share with the people about Saga, about
Mm.
what Saga's up to? And
I I somehow I just want to say thank you for listening to this, and also that I somehow miss you, but I maybe don't know everybody listening. But I feel like I want to meet this tribe of your podcast.
yeah,
And I'm very grateful to been able to have a voice, and to that you wanted to invite me. And yeah, and I enjoy having a lot to say about this, of these things like music, nature, because I don't have so many people to talk to. I feel I have some people. I have mom and dad. I have many beautiful sisters and brothers, but it's not so often we really like sit down and philosophy about these things in
no,
this depth, and it's fun to talk about that with you. To talk about what one has been thinking about in the lonely hello Jokkmokk
yeah.
nights. And also I feel like you also have this longing to go away from
I love
a lot
faraway
of
places.
yeah. So I think we connect a bit in this.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's fun.
And to bridge, I think it's a lot about connecting the dots, that we're living in a time where it's so much about connecting the dots. It's like a big puzzle, and we kind of, by having this conversation, we are bridging intellectually but also energetically,
Yeah,
like,
really.
wisdom, and we are kind of moving closer to that
Yeah,
point
yeah,
of harmony.
yeah. So let's go there together, and let's not be shy and fearful, and let's be creative and listening. And yeah, and one thing I want to share is that I just released a single also that is called Björken Sav, which is a hymn and praise to the spring. And yeah, I really like it. It's about the healing that we get from nature in the springtime of the year. And I had a really fun way of writing it and producing it, like in my basement, and writing it outside a boiling pot of birch sap at this course Naturliv that Niklas Taliaferro is leading and teaching. And that was a really beautiful experience. And so finally I made a song about it, like a finished song, and I released it some weeks ago. And yeah, and Rui Hinostrosa, I think is
I've been in
say
contact
his
with him.
name.
Yeah.
He's playing the flute on the song,
Oh,
and we have some collaborations on
shout out to Rui if you're
going
listening
out.
to this.
Yeah,
Looking forward to speak with you.
So I'm very happy about that, and yeah, just want to create more, produce more music, make music with more friends, and let's do this voice together.
Let's do it. You want to sing a little bit from the Björksaw?
Yeah. Okay, so I can sing the chorus, or a little bit before. So it's like. Och du sa, nu stiger saven i björkarna. Du sa, Hör du våren komma i bäckarna? Och jag sa, ja, jag hör, men kan jag tro att det är sant? Kan jag nu släppa mörkret, bjuda solen upp på dans? Hela mig med din doft, hela mig med din smak, ta mig tillbaks. Hela mig med din doft, hela mig med din smak, från björkens av. Påminn mig om livets sötma, allt det goda, allt det sköna som jorden ger. Påminn mig om livets sötma, allt det goda, allt det sköna som jorden ger.
Beautiful! Thank you, tack så mycket.
Tack så jättemycket.
Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you.
Until next time. Much gratitude for tuning in to One Voice. If you enjoyed today's episode, hit like and subscribe, and follow us on Instagram so you never miss out on upcoming episodes. And feel free to share it with someone you love. Blessings.